Hello everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic back once again, and it's time to talk about everything that happened at WWE Bad Blood. The show opens with our hosts, the Women's Tag Team Champions Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi, who is their friend. They welcome us to the show and say that it's opening with Hell in a Cell. Dum 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 dum. That's the cell music when it lowers. Front row, we see Atlanta native Goldberg and hip-hop legend Killer Mike run the jewels. Punk and Drew come out and there's a big stare down to start and some trash talking, and then they're brawling. Oh, they're brawling! The fight spills to the outside where Punk bashes Drew into the side of the cell. He gets a table out as well, but Drew fights back with a chair and then stands on Punk's head on the ring steps. Drew finds a toolbox and tries to hit Punk with a wrench from inside it, but Punk avoids it and gets the wrench and drives it into Drew's forehead. Back in the ring, Drew rips the leg off a table and goes to hit Punk with it, but Punk hits a drop toe hold, sending Drew into the table's edge. Punk then chokes Drew with the table leg and then tries to drive his eye into the other table leg, the one still attached to the table, but Drew gets away. They go back to the outside where Punk tries to hit Go to Sleep, but Drew slips out and hits a claymore. He then lawn darts Punk into the side of the cell, and CM Punk is busted wide open. Drew follows up by bashing Punk in the head with the ring steps and then stomping him onto them. He also drives the wrench into the wound, so old school. Punk fights back though with his knee in the corner and then an axe handle from the top rope. He goes for another axe handle with the wrench in hand, but Drew catches him and counters with an overhead suplex. Punk rolls to the outside to avoid another claymore and then clocks Drew with the toolbox, and Drew comes up bleeding a lot, to the extent where I'm like, oh, I hope that's not a real blade job, but it might well have been. The ref was talking to him quite a lot around this time. Punk presses the advantage and hits the Go to Sleep, but Drew rolls out of the ring after taking it. Shades of John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 and several other CM Punk matches since then. Punk slowly rolls Drew back into the ring, but Drew hits a claymore. 1, 2, Punk kicks out. Punk avoids another claymore and locks in the sharpshooter, but Drew crawls to the nearby wrench and sort of jabs Punk in the back with it to break the hold. Back to their feet, Punk gets out of the Future Shock DDT and drops Drew with a head kick. They both recover on the apron and then fight in a corner of the ring where Drew hits a crazy kind of like deadlift suplex, carrying Punk over the ring post and then sending both men through a table off the apron below. Drew slowly gets a set of ring steps into the ring, but this gives Punk time to recover and he hits a Go to Sleep, but it only gets 2. Drew then manages to scoop Punk up and hit a white noise onto the ring steps, but again, it's only good enough for a near fall. Drew then tries to scoop Punk up again, but falls into the Anaconda Vice. The submission is locked in, but the wrench is nearby again, and Drew grabs it, but Punk snatches it from him and bashes Drew repeatedly in the head. Punk stands over Drew and prepares to finish him off with the wrench, but Drew hits a low blow. Boo. The ref tries to towel Drew down because he's bleeding a lot, as I mentioned before, but Drew goes no and slaps the towel away. He then gets a bag and empties it out over Punk, and the contents are revealed to be little beads of the bracelets that Punk, you know, the Larry and AJ or April bracelet, the bits of the bracelet, the beads. He empties them over Punk. Drew charges with a claymore, but Punk moves, and I think Drew's manages to take a flat back bump into the beads, but also his lower back slams into the ring steps, and it looks really painful. Now it's time for Punk to finish Drew off. He puts some of the beads in Drew's mouth and hits a chain-assisted GTS with the chain wrapped around his knee and gets the win. CM Punk has won the match, and possibly, as he slams the cage door leaving the ring, he's possibly slammed the door on the feud as well. Both men sell the effects of this match a lot. Punk collapses several times on his way out up the ramp. Adam Pearce and the medical team run out and check on him and give him oxygen, and Punk finally is able to walk out under his own power. Back in the ring, Drew's crying. He's so upset that he couldn't beat CM Punk. Some legends are shown in the front row before the next match. We've got Jacqueline, Lillian Garcia, and oh yeah, man, it's Booker T. Kathy Kelly is up in the VIP suite with our hosts, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. They talk about some of their guests in the VIP suite. Mickie James, DDP, X-Pac, Pete Rosenberg. And Jey Uso is there as well. Yeeting, of course he is. Naomi wishes Bayley the best of luck in her match, which is up next, and Bianca's like, okay, yeah, I hope she does great. Continuity, because Bianca still doesn't like Bayley. That match is, of course, for the WWE Women's Championship. Nia Jax defending against Bayley, and the match begins with Nia on top very early on. Big splash in the corner and a big clothesline, but it only gets 2. Nia hits a hip attack in the corner and just trucks Bayley down, followed by a bear hug, but Bayley slips out the back and gets a sunset flip for a near fall of her own. Nia then grabs kind of a single leg crab sort of thing, but Bayley makes the ropes. Nia then goes for another submission, a camel clutch this time, but Bayley fights out and throws Nia out of the ring. Then when Nia tries to get back in the ring, Bayley drops a leg over her back, using her speed and agility advantage. Bayley hits a dive, but just sort of flies into Nia, who slowly falls over while Bayley splats on the ground. Poor Bayley. Then back in the ring, Nia fights back and beats the challenger down in the corner. She goes for the Annihilator, but Bayley gets up and goes for a powerbomb. Nia tries to kind of Hurricane Rana out of it, and sort of does, and then hits a belly to belly, but it only gets 2. Bayley avoids a hip attack in the corner again, and now hits a running knee followed by a sunset flip into the corner. She then hits the top rope elbow drop, but Nia kicks out with authority, sending Bayley out of the ring to the outside. Nia misses a charge and hits the ring steps, but Bayley can't get her back into the ring and has to break the count herself. This delay allows the champion to retake control and powerbomb Bayley onto the top of the ring steps before slinging her into the crowd barricade. Back in the ring, Nia seems to kind of take a Rough Rider from Bayley, but then makes a cover. So I think on the replay, it's actually kind of a weird Samoan drop attempt from Nia, and it only gets 2. Now Bayley hits a Samoan drop on the champion, very impressively indeed, but Nia kicks out, and Bayley lands on the referee, and then Nia collapses onto the ref as well for good measure. Bayley hits the Rose Plant, but oh dear, there's no ref. And now it's Tiffy time. Here comes Tiffany Stratton, who beats Bayley down with the briefcase and wakes up the referee, and she's thinking about cashing in, but then Nia sits up like the Undertaker and stares at her and goes, "What are you doing?" Tiffany protests and says, "I wasn't going to cash in," and then this distraction allows Bayley to run Nia into Tiffany and then roll backwards with Nia for a near fall. Bayley heads up top, but Tiffany distracts her from the outside. She kind of throws the briefcase to Bayley, who throws it back at Tiffany, but this whole distraction allows Nia to get up there and hit an avalanche Samoan drop, followed by the Annihilator, and that's enough to retain the belt. Next up, X-Pac's in the front row with Tully and On. Careful, X-Pac, they'll brain bust you. Also, some music stars are there, Quavo and Lil Baby, and Metro Boomin. We know Metro. He's Cody's mate, young Metro. Owen, who was editing this video, he likes the Beatles and the Kinks and stuff. I imagine he has no idea what's going on. Next up, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Finn's wearing some interesting entrance attire. Looks like he's become a member of Sleep Token. Good for him. Sorry, Owen, they're a band as well. They're not really my thing, to be honest. Right, moving on with the match. Priest is fighting angrily to start off this one because Balor is his nemesis, and he beats down Finn, whipping him hard into the corner and hitting big punches and stuff. Balor fights back from the apron, but Priest head kicks him down to the outside. He then charges around the ring, but Balor meets him with a sling blade on the floor. Back inside, Balor leaps from the second rope, but gets met with a huge right hand from Priest. But later on, Balor does get a Russian leg sweep, but it only gets 1. A combination of strikes drops Finn, and then the broken arrow gets a near fall for Damien. Balor hits another sling blade though, but Priest counters the shotgun dropkick with some nice kicks of his own and a big clothesline, but again, it's only a near fall. Priest hits some more kicks, but misses a big one, and that allows Balor to hit the Pele kick. Both men are down. Priest fights back with a razor's edge, but again, it's only enough for 2. The fight spills back to the outside, where Priest sends Balor flying over the announce table, and then he hits him with a razor's edge again, this time on the apron. Ooh. Back in the ring, it looks like Priest is about to finish Finn off, but here comes the other members of the Judgment Day. Carlito distracts the ref, and JD McDonough attacks Priest from behind. Balor presses the advantage and hits the coup de grace. It looks like it's over, but Damian Priest heroically kicks out. Carlito again distracts the ref, and Balor tries to use a chair, but Priest kicks it into his face. He then takes out the other Judgment Day members and goes for South of Heaven, but Balor reverses into a roll-up, which nearly gets the win, but crucially doesn't. Finn then starts hitting coup de graces to Priest's back. He hits 2 of them and goes up again, but then Priest catches him by the throat, nails South of Heaven, and gets the vindicating win over his former friend. Who's out next? It's Triple H, who mentions starting out as terrorizing in WCW. Oh my, I guess we are in Atlanta, Georgia. He announces the attendance and then says, at this year's Crown Jewel, we'll see the beginning of a new era for WWE. An annual event that's going to take place at Crown Jewel will see the 2 world champions face each other in a non-title match. Kind of like what we've seen at some Survivor Series events in the past, but this is going to have a match from the men's division and one from the women's division as well. He points out that neither of their titles will be on the line, but the winner will be crowned the Crown Jewel champion. And then he unveils a new belt, which is all gold and green, and I think has the Triple H logo in it as well. Looks sick. The crowd boo it because it's in Saudi Arabia. Who cares? It's not on the line tonight. Gunther interrupts and talks about winning King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, and now he can't wait to do the same again and win the Crown Jewel Championship. To do that, he's going to have to beat Sami Zayn on the way, which he says he will do, and now as a future legend in the company, he wants to pay tribute to all the other legends in attendance today, especially his favorite wrestler, Bill Goldberg. He addresses Goldberg in the front row and says that, yes, I recently told Bret Hart that you were my favorite wrestler and a childhood hero, but that was a lie. How can the greatest wrestler today be impressed by a one-trick pony like Goldberg? Gunther also tells Goldberg's son, who's there next to him, that he hopes his dad is a better father than he was a wrestler. Ooh. Goldberg jumps the barricade, but security stand in his way. But while Gunther is distracted by this, Sami Zayn rushes into the ring from behind and attacks the champion. Road agents drag Sami away, the brawl kind of spills to the ramp, and Gunther hits a big boot, but Sami gets back up and they both continue to try and get at each other, but everybody gets in between. Back in the ring, meanwhile, Triple H raises Goldberg's hand and they play his music. Oh, that's nice. Back in the crowd, DDP is there with Mickie James and Scott Steiner. The next match is Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, with Dominic Mysterio trapped in a bloody shark cage. Oh my god, how embarrassing. Dom drives Liv to the ring in a lowrider. Very nice indeed. Rhea makes her entrance and leaves Dom some branded toilet paper, I think, in the cage. How embarrassing, you guys. Rhea gets on the mic before the bell and says, "Wait, Dom, you're scared of heights, aren't you? Raise that cage up, boys." Well, hey, how embarrassing. Rhea starts off the match in control and they head to the outside where Liv is dropped face first onto the apron. But Liv fights back and gets a half crab locked in the middle of the ring, but Rhea fights out of it. Then she hits a headbutt and a couple of clotheslines and then a nice Northern Light suplex with a bridge, but it only gets 2. Liv continues to work the leg of Rhea, slamming it into the apron and into the ring post. She then hits a sunset bomb from the apron to the outside, sending Rhea into the crowd barricade, like a female Hiromu Takahashi. Back in the ring, Liv follows it up by jumping off the second rope and nailing a code breaker, like a female Chris Jericho, but it only gets 2. And also Jericho does it standing, doesn't he? Rhea flips out of oblivion very impressively, sells the leg a bit as she lands, which is sensible, but it doesn't stop her from hitting a big knee to the face and setting Liv up for the riptide. But the champion fights out and hits a nice crucifix slam kind of move. I think it's the home wrecker, but that only gets a near fall. Liv slaps away at Rhea's face and goes for the 3 amigos, but Rhea stops the third and hits like a release Razor's Edge. It's like a border toss kind of move. It looks brutal. Up in the shark cage, Dom is, well, he's not livid. He's kind of upset. He gets the door open, but what can he do? He's miles away from the ring. Rhea hits frog splash and gets 2. Then she locks in the prism trap, but Liv makes the ropes. Liv crawls up the ramp to the shark cage where Ripley follows and just beats her down and hits the riptide on the outside, and Dom is helpless, but he wants to help his girlfriend. He topples out of the cage and nearly falls, but his leg is chained to the cage, so he just kind of hangs there upside down. Back in the ring, Rhea tells the referee that she has unfinished business before she comes back to the ring and beats Morgan. You fool, Rhea! Just focus on your opponent and win back the belt. Rhea gets a kendo stick out and beats Dom with it as he hangs there, but she's attacked from behind by the returning Raquel Rodriguez. Very interesting indeed. They get in the ring, and that's a DQ. The bell sounds as Raquel beats down Rhea, but then she drags Liv on top of Rhea, but the match is already over. Bit of a weird finish. Maybe they called an audible because the referee saw the attack on Rhea. Maybe this was meant to kind of be missed by the ref and just cost Rhea the match. I don't really know, but it's a bit of a weird ending. Raquel's now aligned with Liv, and the heels all celebrate on the ramp, but Rhea wins the match via DQ. It's the main event next, and Solo and Jacob make their entrance first, which means that they just have to stand there in the ring angrily while Cody Rhodes gets his big brass band entrance. Oh dear. Still, the heels don't snap and attack the band like I fear they might, and then Roman Reigns gets his entrance with a big epic live orchestra and everything. Interesting to note that Roman comes out after Cody, the champion of course, in his hometown as well, but I guess Roman is the top guy and played football there, I suppose. We get uneasy glances between Cody and Roman to start, start while the crowd chants Solo sucks. Oh no. Cody starts off with Jacob Fatu, who just no-sells his offense for a bit, and then the other two guys get in the ring and we get a big four-way stare down because this is the Paul Levesque era. Solo tags in, so after a long pause, Cody tags in Roman to a huge pop. Roman and Solo have a bit of a brawl, which Roman wins, but then Jacob Fatu gets in to distract Roman and Solo clocks him from behind. Solo beats Roman down for a while and hits a running hip attack in the corner, then tags in Jacob, who hits one as well, but Roman avoids a second charge and gets the big tag to Cody, who takes it to Jacob and hits the dusty elbow. He also hits the Cody cutter and sets up for the crossroads, but Solo distracts him, and this allows Jacob to hit a big Samoan drop. On the outside, Solo hits a Uranagi on the apron, and the heels take control back in the ring, with Cody playing the role of the face in peril for a while. Eventually though, Cody fights back and dives to make the hot tag to Roman, but Jacob's there on the outside and pulls Roman off the apron. Boo. Cody gets beaten down some more, but does finally get the big hot tag, and Roman impressively counters the Samoan spike into a nice crucifix pinfall, but it only gets 2. Roman sets up Solo for the spear, but Jacob grabs him from the apron and the heels retake control with some super kicks. Then Jacob hits his lovely step-up moonsault, followed by a big splash from Solo. He makes the cover on Roman, but Cody breaks up the pinfall attempt. Cody heads outside and clears off the announce table and sidesteps a charge from Jacob, sending him through the crowd barricade, but Jacob just gets up and carries on the fight. Cody hits him with the crossroads, but Jacob again wobbles slowly back to his feet, so Cody puts him on the announce table and heads up top and hits a huge splash from the ring post through the announce table below. Roman and Solo back in the ring are left all alone, and they have a strike exchange, which Roman wins. He goes for the spear, but here come Tama and Tanga to distract him, allowing Solo to hit the spear, but Roman kicks out at 2. Solo grabs Reigns and talks trash, preparing to finish him off, but he gets distracted by a mysterious man in a hoodie and balaclava at ringside. The mystery man super kicks the Tongans down and reveals that it's none other than the returning Jimmy Uso. Solo is distracted by this and turns into a spear from Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3, and the babyface team win. Roman and Jimmy hug it out, but then turn to see Cody getting back in the ring with his belt. They have an uneasy stare down, which I guess is meant to be like respectful, but also Roman's saying, hey, I'll be coming for that belt. I mean, that's my own speculation, but that's what it seemed to be. That's what they were saying with their eyes. Roman and Jimmy head up the ramp, but back in the ring, the Bloodline jump Cody and beat him down. On the ramp, Jimmy urges Roman to go and help him, saying, you're the tribal chief, let's go, let's beat these guys up. And after a moment, Roman agrees. They charge back to the ring and clear the heels out of there and celebrate, but then Roman picks up the belt. Ooh, he stares at it before slowly handing it to Cody, who raises it into the air, and The Rock's music hits. Here comes Dwayne out onto the stage with his People's Championship belt that he decided that he should have, I think. He stares them down from the stage and counts 3 on his fingers. Maybe, as Owen suggested, editing this video, because he pinned Cody on night 1 of WrestleMania, and he's reminding us that he should be the champion of the WWE. Oh, Dwayne, you politician, what do you like? But no, it's a big epic ending to the show, and it leaves many different roads available on the way to WrestleMania. Cody, Roman, and The Rock all involved. Jimmy's back, of course, possibly setting up some sort of bloodline civil war in Survivor Series in the War Games match. There's various different ways WWE can go from here on out. And that is everything that happened at Bad Blood. Thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Jack from Cultaholic. A big thank you as well to Owen Mawson for editing this video, and leave your thoughts and opinions in that comment section down below. Thanks once again, and I'll see you very soon.